What is up, foodies, and welcome back to another episode. Today we are going to one of my favorite places, Malibu. Now, Malibu has a whole lot to offer. Obviously, they're beautiful beaches like Zuma, and the food scene is really just blasting off. You have your places like Nobu, Mastro's, Neptune's Net. The list just goes on and on. But I would say Broad Street came a few years back, and they just took Malibu by storm. They have phenomenal seafood. Obviously, they are known for the lobster rolls, which I absolutely love. But they do have oysters, seafood platters. I mean, again, if you love seafood, this is the spot to be at. Not only do they have food, but you can also have wine. I think they have natural wine selection there. They have beer. So it's just a nice little place to relax. It's in a pretty decent shopping center as well, so you could kind of do a little bit of shopping. But yeah, Malibu is, it used to just be a place to go, maybe grab some seafood here and there, hit up the beach, but now it's kind of becoming more of a place to actually hang out at. Even if you don't visit the beach, it is totally fine. But let's get into Broad Street Oysters. I just love driving on these canyons going into PCH. So Broad Street has multiple locations, and I feel like they're opening up a new location like every week. But this particular one is in Malibu, and pretty close to Pepperdine. It is in a nice little shopping center. I just love this drive. Now, one thing I would recommend is ordering ahead if you can. I'm going to show you footage from a month ago, and if you see, the line is just crazy. So order ahead if you can, but for today, there was no one there, and so it was kind of nice just to walk right up and just order. The actual restaurant itself is actually pretty big. I mean, there's no indoor sitting at all. All of it is just outdoor sitting. But you can order wine, beer, drinks, all of the food inside. And they do actually have an amazing bar on the outside as well. Everyone is super friendly here. I always forget the guy's name who helps us out at the bar, but he's just an amazing dude. And again, it's right next to the lagoon, which is very nice. Daniel's trying to check out what merch he wants to buy. But I mean, look at this. You get some nice wine, you get a good beer, and you're just right on the water. They have two areas that are covered, and it has these like picnic style benches and tables. They also have other chairs like actually in the open as well. Daniel wanted to be in this, and no, he is not a Padres fan, and no, he does not drive a Harley. I had to start out with some New England clam chowder, which I just absolutely love. This is up there on my list of clam chowder that you absolutely have to try. There is, little bits of bacon. The seafood is super fresh. It's not like chewy sometimes that you might get from out of a can. This is freshly made, and I just love everything about it. Just look how thick it is. And I mean, just all the amount of flavors that you get within it is just amazing. Of course, that's a perfect starter. And then now you got to jump into another starter, which is the oysters. This is hands down my favorite thing to get here. And probably my favorite oysters that I've had, period. I love the little Tabasco bottle that you get, that you could put on top of it. You also get like horseradish. And I forgot the other, it's like red sauce. You get the nice little tang and the nice little heat from the horseradish. And again, these oysters are just amazing. So definitely recommend starting with the oysters and clam chowder. But now let's get into the main dish, or one of the main dishes, and that is the sea urchin spaghetti. You could top this off with sea urchin on top as well, but this is cooked in that sauce, and this is extremely buttery. The noodles taste like they're homemade. And this just packs so much flavor, a little hints of spice as well, but this is just amazing. Next, you already know I'm a sucker for some good fish tacos. These are pretty solid. You have the coleslaw and the aioli in there. You got the nice little crunch. This little red sauce that they make is phenomenal. Packs a little spice. There's just a good amount of flavor in every single bite that you get. But drum roll, of course, you need to have the lobster roll. And this is the butteriest lobster roll that I've ever had in my entire life. It is hard to go any other place and have this. It needs to be from Broad Street. This is just phenomenal. It's super creamy, super rich. The fries are a good addition, but this is just the best lobster roll I've had. Afterwards, I had to walk off all that food, so I went over to check out the new Prince Street Pizza location that is kind of in the other shopping mall little area. And I was actually surprised that there was not a whole lot of people there, so I would definitely be reviewing this very soon. I've had Prince Street in the past, and it was amazing, but the pizza looks just as good here. I am back home. Of course, I had to pick up the Malibu Racing Prince Street hats. I will be going there and reviewing them very soon. I just expect that they have also amazing pizza, similar to the other locations in LA. So Broad Street is just one of those iconic places that you need to go to in Malibu. There's other choices, right? There's Neptune's Net, that is very cliche Malibu. It's been in a lot of movies, TV shows, everything else. There's a lot of options. I'm definitely aware of that. I think Broad Street just gives you the quality that you want. And you could sip on your wine, your beer. You could sit right next to the lagoon. It's just a great atmosphere. Everyone is super friendly that works there. They'll help you out on just explaining what the dishes are or what you should order and all of that. Now, I'm no dummy. I read the reviews from time to time on what people leave on like Yelp or whatever. Obviously, it could be skewed from time to time, but a lot of people did complain that the pricing is extremely high for the amount of food that you get. Now, is the pricing high? Absolutely. I think everything that I showed you here was, easily $100. So it's definitely expensive. I'm not even going to act like it's not. But I do feel like the amount of food you get is pretty good. I mean, the lobster roll, it might not look that big, but once you actually start eating it, it does weigh you down, especially with the sea urchin and once you get into, clam chowder and everything. So it's a very filling, food items that you can order. So I feel like the pricing is okay, especially when you get into seafood. Seafood is just so expensive that, you got to keep in mind they're a business. They need to make some money as well. Anytime someone is asking me where to go in Malibu, I just send them straight to Broad Street. I mean, there's, like I mentioned, a million choices. I just feel like that speaks Malibu. The only other thing that you could get that's more Malibu is if that was like literally on the beach. So they have multiple locations, like I mentioned. There's Grand Central Market, there's Smorgasbord. I mean, I feel like the list is going on and on. I think they opened one in OC. They're opening up one in San Francisco. So pretty much, if you are somewhere in California, you can have Broad Street. Anyways, I highly recommend them. Check them out. Order ahead if you can. I mean, today was just an off day that it was just super slow. It was during the week as well. But especially on the weekends, it is going to get crazy there. Even though it's slightly cooler here and not a lot of people are going to Malibu because of, the weather, obviously, it's still always busy. Until next time, guys, follow me on IG at RockPaperFood and keep eating.